We'll let this propagate here. Boom, boom, boom. And I can check. Double check my phone. There we
And
are.
we're live.
Salute.
Whiskey Tango Charlie coming to you live from Mount Pleasant, North Carolina, Charles.
Wow, gosh, yes. Southern Grace Distillery, Mount Pleasant, North Carolina. We're back. Our good friends here. We've been here many times over the years. We're here with Thomas Thacker.
Correct.
Yeah, I know. No, Thomas, and driving over here, folks, I want to tell you, this was a little bit of a homecoming I felt like it was just, I had tingling all over, because one of the very first interviews I ever did with anyone was sitting right over there with the founder, Miss Leanne. And if you knew Leanne, she was a force that made things happen. And this was her dream. She passed a couple years ago. We miss her deeply. But Thomas, I'm blown away. Just, gosh, catch us up a little bit.
It's been an exciting time for us this year. Brand new remodeled gift shop. I tell everybody we've got air conditioning and flush toilets now. We're in the we've moved into the 20th century. Expanded the bar. Full mixed bev permit. For those of you who don't like bourbon or don't prefer bourbon, we can still be friends. Come and have a martini, try some of our moonshine cocktails, try a flight of our products. But we've got Virginia behind the bar doing really, really well-made classic cocktails, of course with all of our spirits, but with a broader spirit offering for people who prefer something other than bourbon. As you see, Dr. Dobson and Brian Seagraves and their crews have done the work that you see. They have transformed a dilapidated prison mess hall into a showplace that serves as our gift shop, our tasting room, and our bar. And we could not be more pleased and excited about it.
Wow. So this project took about, how long was it?
It's one of those things. It's like Mark Twain said about going broke. It takes a very long time, and then it happens all at once. We've planned and hoped and planned and hoped, but the work itself was done in here inside of a 5-week period of time. We moved the gift shop and the bar into the chapel, and the crews came in. They were like ants all over this place.
Wow.
3, 4, 5 groups of contractors and subcontractors at a time, going from one end to the other and making this transformation that you see. And it was done in a much, much shorter period of time than you would expect, given the huge transformation that was made.
Right, right.
So it's truly turned it into a destination location, and being this close to Charlotte.
It is. It's country. It's good breeze on the deck. We've got a brand new deck. We've got some new deck furniture coming for groups if they want to just sit on the deck. We've got Old Well and Cabarrus Brewing local brewed beers here for people. Again, middle of the day, you want a beer instead of a whiskey, we can accommodate that. We've got selection of wines now, but the venue itself is worth coming to in its own right now. We've got the deck, renovated gift shop, full bar. You can just come out here. If you don't want to take a tour, come and have a drink, come and sit on the deck, spend some time with us.
Wow. So the grand reopening, the official grand reopening is tomorrow, Saturday.
It is tomorrow, Saturday, yes,
starting
sir.
at?
We're here from noon until 7.
Noon to 7.
Full bar is open. We're doing free tours on the hour. We're doing cocktail demonstrations. Sebastian's going to be in the tasting bar for most of the day. So you've got a master distiller leading the free tastings, which is a kind of a special thing for us to have the guy whose hands are actually in this and who's creating these products and monitoring all of this work that they do, to be there. You know, he's there when the grain comes in, and now he's at the glass talking about that process with our customers.
Wow. And he is the original master distiller.
I actually was, and I decided I didn't even want to work that hard anymore. So I locked him in distillation, and I had the title. He's done the job. So that's
okay.
And he has earned the title, and I'm distiller emeritus or whatever you call that person. But his real strength was in fermentation and fermentation management. He has a chemistry degree. He had and when I found out that you could get a degree in making beer, I tracked down my high school guidance counselor and cussed her out. She told me I'd have to have a real job. But Sebastian, when he came here, I learned to make liquor in the woods, and all I know is put more yeast in it and stir it again. He came in and brought a chemistry background, a real knowledge of how to manage and maximize fermentation. And the day one with Sebastian, he put us on another level on the product side.
Right.
The aging and the cocktails, that was my experience. He came in and made our mash better day one, and that really boosted the product. And we're seeing the result of that now as these barrels age out from 4 and 5 years ago.
So Charles, at all the places that we go around the country, right?
Yeah.
And I kind of look back to my tequila background a little bit, and how the tequila industry has changed, and the agave is being taken at 4 years and not 10 years. The autoclaves that are sucking the juice out, right? So as we go from distillery to distillery across this country, very seldom do we run across something like here where it's done in a pot still.
Oh my gosh, right? That's really
There's a tug of war between tradition and technology at all times, and then when you overlay the challenges of capital, finance, return on investment, we're a business,
sure,
supposed to be one anyway, that those pressures can mount, and in a lot of ways they're opposing. They're truly opposing. You have to find a sweet spot. I have no problem with technology, but pot stills, we're supposed to hit less than 160 on fermentation, on our distillation. The way to do that is to dial your stills in as it comes out of fermentation. You dial those pot stills in, maybe you put a copper plate in, but you're playing with the tradition in the same way that people have played with it for decades, if not centuries. It's copper, it's stainless, it's a dual inline thump keg, it's a copper worm condenser. We've always told people that if somebody that made liquor in the woods 150 years ago walked into our place, they would know how to use everything but the laptop. And we try to keep it that way every day. Is that anybody who's ever made corn liquor could make it here without having to train on anything.
wow. I love it. I mean,
The moonshine thing.
well, look,
in
yeah.
Virginia we just
No,
did.
Yeah,
Right.
we just got back from Martinsville, Virginia. It was a whole program on the moonshine. Who had the best moonshine? Virginia or North Wilkesboro, and it was a fun time. But I love that. We did a lot more research. I think I know more about moonshine now than I did prior to that event. And when you say that, I can respect what you're saying about the old tradition, if you will, right? So,
and those guys, the people who did that, and going all the way back, on this continent to the colonial period, Native Americans, African Americans, immigrants from every country on earth, they all ferment and distill something somewhere.
Right.
Our region is unique. We have a lot of corn. We use a lot of corn. People who grow a lot of rye use a lot of rye, but it goes all the way back to past generations of people. That they're the foundation for this, and you want to become more efficient, and you want to at some point become profitable. But the further away from that tradition you stray, the further away from an authentic glass of juice and a proper drink you get.
right.
So this is truly back in my coffee days, right? When we start talking about espresso and how espresso is extracted, and I make the joke of, if you've got 10 people in line and it takes 3 minutes to serve a customer, it takes 30 minutes to get to that 10th person. So a lot of the true things follow here when, you've got the big boys all doing column stills.
Right.
You're still craft distilling.
And we have, and Sebastian is our master distiller. Our main day shift distiller is a guy named Marty. He's a friend of Leanne's. He stayed on staff when we lost Leanne, and we were very glad of that. But Marty or Sebastian, one of them is in distillation. Every minute that the stills are charged, and every half gallon is adjudged at a cut point. And wow. We do it no other way. And the minute, it's a three-stage judgment call: smell, taste, and color. And if it fails one, it's done.
Cut.
You cut. You don't play 2 out of 3 or 1 out of 3. You cut it. And that's why we catch it about 3/4 of a gallon at a time, because if you miss the cut by a few minutes, you taint that half gallon or that 3/4 of a gallon rather than 10 or 50 or 100 gallons. So we catch it small and collect it into slightly. I know that people in the real larger liquor world are laughing at me talking about 1 gallon, 5 gallon, 10 gallon. It's actually a very important part of what we do. And if we upgraded all of our equipment tomorrow, that would still be done. There would still be a human being in there catching that gallon of distillate every few minutes and deciding which can it goes in for us.
You know, this is truly, when you say that, Thomas. I got Sebastian. I'm here. I got.
He's half my age. I take it.
But
we hear him in the background.
But what I hear is true craft distillery. I mean,
right.
You guys are the craft of the craft.
Right. And it's.
So you brought us something here.
Well, before we go there.
Okay, all right. I smelled it and my mouth started watering.
I want to go back to when we first came here and we first talked with Leanne, and I want our listeners to truly understand that you can't start a distillery and be like Buffalo Trace right out of the box. So some of the distilleries out there, Charles, as we well know, buy NGP.
Yes.
And they call it their own.
Right.
While they're trying to get theirs going.
Yeah.
So, Thomas, the maturity of what I'm smelling right now is incredible based on, I've been here since the beginning.
Right.
And so this doesn't smell like corn liquor anymore.
It's our double oak has moved out. Our whole cask finishing and cask treatment program has is what I'm, one of the things other than our staff is one of the things that I'm most proud of here, because that barrel impact happens over time, and if your juice is good going in, it'll get better coming out. But managing the interplay of a multi-cask treatment program, it takes luck, but it also takes talent, it takes attention to detail, it takes giving a big fat damn about it. And that we tried really hard, and a lot of people in the industry have a different approach to this. We think that for a double oak, that it should spend at least as much time in the second cask as it does in the first. Because not only does wood change spirit, but spirit alters wood. And as glorious as a heavily charred oak barrel is in its infancy, before spirit is introduced, it is a very acrid, smoky, tarry environment. And you want that to season out of the wood. Mm-hmm. And the only way to do that is time with booze on wood. So we've worked this out to about a 5-year trajectory for our double oaks now. Minimum of 2 years in the first barrel, minimum of 2.5 to 3 in the second barrel. Wow. And that's where you land.
No, I want to know, I thought maybe they had put chocolate flavoring in this. I keep getting cocoa and
dark raw powdered chocolate on this.
I mean, good
Luxardo
gosh.
cherries.
Yeah.
So this hasn't been released yet?
It's being released tomorrow. But you can sit here with me and drink it today. How about that? It's not what you know, it's who you know.
It's not what you know.
The perks of the job, folks, just saying.
Yeah, we've got it tough.
Little Mason allspice on the mid palate, decent mouthfeel, and a really dry, crisp double oak fade. That's the one thing that real double oak drinkers I have found through 100 tastings is that double oak has to finish dry like a super Tuscan, like a big red wine. so that fifth stage, when you take that draw, you get a crisp, almost minty, not mint flavored, but mint tactile effect.
Thick legs.
You know, the first thing I got from the swallow and then just inhaling was, I thought it was kind of going citrus there, but I was like, no, it's not citrus, and it wasn't mint as you described it. It almost had a hint of menthol, like.
To me, it acts like acidity. It's not citrusy. It doesn't taste like orange or lemon, but it feels in the mouth a citrus effect.
Yes, I agree.
Which is really interesting because it's so fatty on the mouth that it's an interesting draw.
Smell to the taste.
Totally different.
I can't even. It's
totally different.
I
from
wasn't
the smell
expecting
of
that.
Right. So, kitchen spice. What am I picking up?
It's for me, and I'm an old kitchen guy, so I go right to the spice rack when I start talking about bourbon. To me, it's the cinnamon that transitions to clove and allspice and mace. It's not. And we talk about cinnamon. If it's a synthetic cinnamon, you don't want that, because we talk about that in our guided tastings all the time. And I know you guys make the distinction as well. If you're talking about raw, fresh, ground Madagascar cinnamon, that's a blessing. If you're talking about big red chewing gum, you don't want your whiskey to taste that way. It means it's harvested young, it's off balance. So when we talk about cinnamon, we make sure we distinguish between the two. But for me, this goes darker. This goes sticky cloves and allspice on the mid palate for me.
You know what's crazy? So just recently, I found a recipe to pickle some pineapple. And it's called a sweet, spicy pineapple that you can put on street tacos, right? Because everyone loves tacos, right? I had to find allspice berries, which is totally different than ground.
Yeah.
This is kind of a little memory of what little bit of that pickled pineapple, if I can take the pineapple out of it, because even sharing it with my wife's like, yeah, that's a little spicy.
Yeah. What's this one at? 105-ish?
107.
107, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with any spirit, and we work on that as well, with any spirit that's really north of 100 or 105, anytime that you're going to let it air for a minute, let it gas off a little bit.
Yeah.
But we always we do the first nose, then we do a deep secondary nose that should contain alcohol, because alcohol is seminal to the spirit. And do the flavor compounds stand up to alcohol, or do you reach a point that the alcohol is overwhelming? Right. So if you get alcohol, but you're also getting these other compounds that we're talking about, that's okay.
Right.
The finish, Charles. So you're a cigar guy. I'm not. But when I'm around people with a cigar, I get this finish in my mouth just from the smoke in the area. Am I picking up a tobacco finish?
You know, I've been away from it for a little while. I actually got away. I actually stopped smoking cigars in January.
I did not know this.
Yeah, I have not had a cigar since I had a little medical issue. Just let's put it that way. So, not saying I won't have a cigar, but I don't get tobacco. I'm getting a lot of it's a spiciness that I keep getting, and I get that. I'm telling you, it's almost like spearmint now.
Right.
It's just cooling effect on the back of the tongue. So this is amazing. I'm just going to say that.
I did a single barrel pick of the double oak class.
Wow.
We did a single barrel pick of that class, one barrel of it, to sell here only, and then we did a 5 or 6 barrel blend for ABC stores.
Gotcha.
Because if you buy it at the ABC store and you buy it at the beach, you like it, and you come home and you buy somebody a bottle, the consistency, season over season, I think matters. But when you come here and you taste it, this is dynamic, it's unique. If you really like it, you can buy it. If you don't really like it, you can buy something else.
Yeah. Now, the overall age now, y'all were above 4 years on everything.
Yes,
Yeah.
even the cask finish, the toasted cask that we're releasing this weekend was 4 years in the bourbon barrel and then almost 15 months in the toasted cask.
I tell you, You know, the earlies, you've been through the whole history, but the early releases, which, oh, by the way, they had an award winner at New Orleans. And
Yes.
I remember
Yes.
Leanne was so proud of that win, you know, for the craft distillery win. That was a huge thing.
They gave 2 gold medals, McKenna 10 and us. It was the weirdest little group of winners. It's the weirdest group of people getting the trophy you've ever seen in your life.
Wow, McKenna 10 and you
Yes.
guys. I didn't know that
Yeah.
piece. Wow. But you guys now, the maturity is really coming on. You can taste it. You know, I've had I think the last thing I picked up was the Founders release that you came over and picked up for us. I've loved the cognac finish. I've loved the Ronca's finished one. The double oak. This might be my all-time favorite right now.
I love the Founders Reserve when I'm wanting something that's high proof, and some nights you just want something in that sort of Booker's profile, and ours kind of plants. It's not for everybody, but we needed to plant our flag in that space. We needed to show we could do that and be drinkable and not be overpowered with alcohol. I think that was a technical craft thing we needed to prove, and it worked. But the double oak day in and day out is probably our favorite product that we make. The second barreling, the drink shifts gears. It gives you all of these dynamic profiles, because if you're 4 or 5 years in one barrel, it just keeps getting more like that barrel. And it can be very, very good. But when you put it in that second barrel, you've got whatever magic is in that second wood coming to play. Now, sometimes they clash, and you can see the seams, but sometimes they fit and they stack layer upon layer on flavor. And I think this one is a good example of that.
Right. That's awesome. So the events tomorrow, what's the timeline look like throughout the day? Just
noon to 7.
Noon to 7.
Free tastings all day, free tours on the hour from noon to 6. I believe that's right. Emily knows when the tours are. Come out here, we'll give you a tour. But that gift shop bar will be open. We're just being tours of the grounds, but it's an open to the public Founders Day grand reopening of the gift shop event.
For the folks that are, and I'm just thinking of my son and all, so they're big dog people. So out and out on the grounds, I'm sure, is it dog friendly here?
Yes,
It is? Okay,
yes.
good. See, there's a good thing. So folks,
Walk
it's
your
going to
dog,
be beautiful weather this weekend in North Carolina, right here. You guys come on out, spend a couple hours, take in the space. If you've never been here, you need to come and check it out. Take the tour, have a cocktail or a sip of a taste of bourbon. I mean, what else can you? If I wasn't busy tomorrow, I'd be hanging out here all day. My wife would kill me, but I have a training class to do tomorrow. That's why we came today.
We're glad you're here.
We wanted to be here. We wanted to be a part of this. You guys have been like family from. I mean, Leanne just took us right in from the get-go, and that was real cool.
And my conversations with her about you guys were that the support that you give and the credibility that you lend to very small, unheard of people who are just trying to get it right. That seemed to be your only standard. We bring no extra eyeballs to your enterprise, but she recognized these guys are respectful of the way of what we're trying to do. That makes it incumbent on us to get it right and to want you to come back. But the fact that you've stuck in there with a young company that nobody's ever heard of, that isn't based out of Lexington, Louisville, or Bardstown, and still want to be our friends and are nice about our product, all of that means the world to us, and we appreciate it. And the people who support you also help us get this out. This process is incredibly important to people like us.
Well, Charles, I was speaking to staff earlier, and I would be missed if I didn't talk about it. Yes, there are ghosts here, and let me tell you something, ghosts do not like change. So as beautiful as this place is, and all the changes that have happened here that you need to see, just know that the ghosts might not share the same sentiment you do when you come in here.
Well, there you go. And when you pull up, there's a guard in the guard shack now, so just saying, Things are being watched. Okay, man, come on out tomorrow. Enjoy some time here, and if you can't make it for the grand reopening, just come out and enjoy this place. This is a truly a cool place to be.
Thomas, thank you for joining us. Whiskey Tango Charlie.
Hey,
Thank
Cheers.
you all. Thank you both so much.
cheers, folks.
Everybody out there, come see us. Salute.
Hey, great. This is good.